solve every problem. You'll prove every decision. And still, nothing multiplies. You are busy, but you are not building. You are moving, but you are not scaling. You are busy. You are grinding, but you are not compounding. You are moving. And deep down, you are not scaling. You know it. You are grinding. You are not tired of work. You are tired of chaos. You are tired of guessing. You are tired of rebuilding what should have been designed correctly. The first time. This is the fastest business era in history. Speed is no longer optional. Clarity is no longer optional. Leverage is no longer optional. The people who rise now do not simply work harder. They build systems, they define roles, they create intelligent agents that move with them, not against them. If you are here tonight, you are not average. You are early. You are aware. You are positioned. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. This is the moment you stop surviving and start engineering. The moment your time stops leaking and starts compounding. The moment your effort meets structure. Pause. This is your season. And if you build correctly, nothing will look the same again. My name is Emeka Onyejizu, and I build people and systems for impact.
This is the best time for business. Right now. If you are here, you are not average. You are early, you are aware. This is your window, and it is open. Every generation has a moment. Most people miss it. They hesitate, they observe, they overthink, but a few move. You are in a room where leverage is real, where systems replace struggle, where speed replaces delay, where structure becomes power. This is the best time for business. Not next year, not someday. If you showed up tonight, you stepped into the top 1%, not by status, by decision. Intelligent agents working while you think, while you plan, while you led. Time compressed, effort multiplied, income accelerated. This is not hype, this is design. When roles are clear and systems are aligned, money stops being accidental and starts becoming predictable. You are not here to survive, you are here to engineer growth. This is your season. Final hook. This is the best time for business. If you are here, you are early. If you are early, you are positioned. If you are positioned, you can build. And if you build correctly, you can scale. This window is open.
Another late night spreadsheet glow, head full of forecasts, eyes running slow. I've been trading my time like it can't run out, quietly winning, quietly in doubt. I've checked every box that they said to check. Still there's this question I can't erase. Something has to shoot more than just the numbers on a screen. I've been climbing ladders that don't lead where I used to dream. I don't need a break, I need a better way to live. I'm not giving up, I'm staying in, but something has to shift. I know the language of targets and charts, can hit every metric and still lose my heart. The world's moving fast, I feel it in waves. Maybe real progress means turning the page. What if the future is ours to redraw? Not just a script we inherit by law. Something has to shift more than just the numbers on the screen. I've been climbing ladders that don't lead where I used to dream. I don't need a break, I need a better way to live. I'm not stepping back, I'm leaning in, but something has to shift. Change isn't chaos, it's choosing a truer line. Saying this matters with how we spend our time. If I want a different world, it has to start in me. In every quiet choice, and how I lead, how I speak. Something has to shift more than just the numbers on the screen. We've been climbing ladders, let's rebuild what they really mean. We don't need escape, we need a deeper way to give. We're not giving up, we're standing here and something's gonna shift. Something's gonna shift. Breathe in, whiteboard glow. One line, then it grows. I don't chase hype, I chart flows. Turn wild sparks into payload. Map out paths like a mine code. Every node got a barcode. I've been up late with the frameworks, blueprints spread on the same desk. If it scales once, it'll scale next. I don't guess. I run playbooks, stress tests. I see patterns in the noise, yeah, clear as a scan. I break oceans into sprints, put the waves in my hand. Every problem just a system I ain't model, yeah. I design before I move, I don't gamble, I bet. Structure over fire, we don't move on chance. We align the wires, make the future dance. Lay the grid, then we go higher. Plan the build, then we walk through fire. Systems on my side, I don't chase the storm. I design the tide, let the flood transform. Read the code in the chaos, call my name. I got order in my veins, I don't break, I frame. Whole room hums when the slide flips. Vision in the graphs, not the side pics. Every metric got a purpose, no side quest. Every runway got a roadmap, flight check. I don't scale just for bragging right. I scale clean, turn the strain into steady lights. Stack teams like a circuit, all parts in. If the loop don't serve, then the loop gets relinked. Ask why 5 times. Cut deep to the root, turn fog into steps, then steps into proof. I'm not rushing to the ladder just to find no roof. I draw floors in the sky, make the grid my truth. Structure over fire, we don't move on chance. We align the wires, make the future dance. Lay the grid, then we go higher. Plan the build, then we walk through fire. Systems on my side, I don't chase that storm. I design the tide, let the flood transform. Read the code in the chaos, call my name. I got order in my veins, I don't break, I frame. What scale? If it breaks when it grows, what speed? If you crash when you go, ask first. What repeats, what remains? We don't fight every flame, we redesign the frame, yeah. Structure over fire, we don't move on chance. We align the wires, make the future dance. Lay the grid, then we go higher. Plan the build, then we walk through fire. Systems on my side, I don't chase that storm. I design the tide, let the flood transform. Read the code in the chaos, call my name. I got order in my veins, I don't break, I frame.
Level up, this your season. Move with clarity or reason. From reaction into vision. From effort into precision. Step forward, claim your range. This the shift, this the change. You're not here by accident. You're here to rearrange. You've been working without structure, high for low return. Every day you chase momentum, but the leverage never turns. Meetings, messages, deadlines, always moving, never scaling. Strong ambition in your spirit, but the system keeps on failing. You don't lack the capability, you lack intentional design. When direction meets discipline, that's when hours multiply. Success is not acceleration without architectural thought. Build a model, map the flow, that's where real control is taught.
Level up, this your season. Move with clarity or reason. From reaction into vision. From method into precision. Step forward, claim your range. This the shift, this the change. You're not here by accident. You're here to rearrange.
Professionals tired of ceilings, business owners tired of drift. You don't need more motivation, you need systems that uplift. Write it once and make it scalable. Design roles that interlock, reduce friction in the process, turn confusion into clockwork. This is measured transformation, not emotional display. Quiet power, clear direction, intentional every day. Your time is not for survival, it's for building what remains. When structure meets intelligence, that's when progress sustains.
Level up, this your season. Operate with deeper reason. From motion into mastery. From pressure into strategy. Step forward, claim your range. This the shift, this the change. You're not here by accident. You're here to rearrange.
All right. How is everyone doing this evening? If you can hear me, can you put I can hear you on the comment section? Super excited for us to be live today. Super excited for us to be live today. And it's gonna be amazing, 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 amazing. So you can see we have some people already in the chat session on YouTube. We're streaming this on Facebook. We're also streaming this on YouTube. Do well to connect in any of the platforms, okay? And you can also do well to tell us, where you are joining in from, because this night or this evening is going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, and we'll be jumping into it without wasting much time. Okay, if you have friends or people around that you know that is going to benefit from this, do well to inform them. Good evening. I can see Joy. I can see Lena. I can see Daniel from Bauchi States. You're welcome. You're welcome. Chike Amara from Abuja. You're welcome as well. You're welcome. You're welcome. I can see Queen. Joy joining in from Lagos. And I want you, wherever you are, just open your mind, because what we'll be dealing with today, it's going to be something that would be super, super amazing for every one of you. Okay, so just open up your mind to learn. There's a lot going on out there. There is a lot going on out there, and I want to I want to assure you that you would hear things that would amaze you. You would hear things that would absolutely amaze you. All right. So I welcome us. I welcome us. I welcome us to it. It's amazing. It's amazing to have us, have everyone here together. It's amazing. Okay. So, without wasting time, because this session is going to just be for about 45 minutes, I would be jumping into it right away. And I want us to be very much, willing to learn from everything. Today we are considering the invisible majority, why the world rewards systems, not struggle. Why the world rewards systems and not struggle. And this is brought to you by the AI Leverage Academy. On the AI Leverage Academy is a community, or it's an organization that has been structured in a way to help businesses to be able to leverage on AI tools and infrastructure, and to be able to accelerate their progress. We're in the season of agentic AI. Every one of us, we know about that. You open your phone, you see a lot of things happening. And I want to be able to, take some persons that I call the top 1% through, the process that is going to give them a lot of advantage and help them to build things that are remarkable, in seasons like this. So this is very, very important. And if you are here, just know that you are position yourself, among those individuals that will leverage on what we are doing. Okay, you're positioning yourself. Now, before I get started, I want to ask you one question, and I want to see our comments, in the chats. I want to ask you one question, and I want you to answer that question honestly. How many hours did you work this week? How many hours on an average did you work this week? And when you get to weigh in on the hours that you work this week, did it match the results that you actually got? Okay. Did it actually match the results that you got? Let's say, for instance, you're working a full-time job, 9 to 5. Basically that's already taking 8 hours of your time every day. Let's say you have a business, you are a freelancer, you own a small business, or you're starting up your own organization. Let's say you put in 60 hours this week. The hours that you put in, did it really match out the results that you are hoping to accomplish? Did it match the results? Your result could be you wanted to make more money. Your result could be you wanted to get, certain tasks that you're doing, you want to get it done, and all of that. And the reason I asked that question is because I have met a lot of people, and I have mentored a lot of people. And one of the common challenges that I see a lot of times is people thinking about how they put in a lot of hours, whether they are building something or whether they are actually, working professionally, and they don't see the results of those hours. They feel like they give in too much. They give in too much and they see very, very little results. You see someone every single day, it feels like you are exhausted. It feels like you are tired. It feels like you are putting in more and you end up seeing less. That is what a lot of individuals, that is what they face. That is what they face. They put in a lot of hours and the results that they are seeing, it does not really match up. It does not really match up. Now, why am I very concerned about this? I'm concerned about this because through my journey of mentoring and interacting with people, I have met very individuals, very, very smart individuals. But then I got to discover that many of those smart individuals, they end up being stalked. They end up being stalked. And the question that is always presented to me a lot of times is, how can I be able to achieve, this many ideas that I have? I don't have the time. If I stop doing what I'm doing, everything ceases. If I stop working, the income that I'm getting, it stops. If I don't put in enough time that I'm supposed to put, it affects every other area of my life. And the disadvantage or the problem with that is, even though they have good ideas, even though they know, the destination that they want to be able to get into, they have not been able to set certain systems and structure that excludes them. And I talk about systems and structures, I mean putting certain things in place that even though you are not committing, the necessary hours that you're meant to commit on daily basis, you are still making significant progress. I've worked in a lot of organizations. It feels like over the last 5 years of my journey professionally, I've gotten 3 major aerospace experience. I worked first in the first aerospace company that I worked in is called Gulfstream Aerospace. I believe we all know, Gulfstream Aerospace. Many of the, aircraft that our presidents in Nigeria and many other top, individuals they use, they are being produced by Gulfstream Aerospace. Okay, they do the G400, G350s, G300, 250s, and G800, different brand of private jets and all of that. Now, that's one of the organizations I worked in. Now, I've also worked in Blue Origin. Blue Origin is also an aerospace company. And what they do is they launch different types of rockets. It's being owned by Jeff Bezos, okay? And the third is Southwest Airlines. Southwest, they are more into the commercial, fleets, like transporting individuals, passengers, and all of that. Now, these are aerospace industries. Now, there are other industries that I've actually worked in, but there's something unique about working in an aerospace industry. The first thing is they are absolutely precise. When I mean precise, I mean you're like those kind of environments are environments where you don't make certain levels of mistakes. Those kind of environments are environments where you're going to see like a lot of very super smart individuals. You see the Chinese, you see the Indians, you see different persons that I think in one of my distant roads, I met an Indian guy, very, very super smart guy. The guy, you can ask him something like 365 times 45, and within seconds, he gives you the answer, because that's how they are trained. Okay, that's how they are trained. So in that environment, you meet like very super smart people. Now, the advantage that I discovered in those industries is not about the smart people. It's not about the smart people. Yes, they bring in smart people, But then they pay rapt attention to creating certain infrastructures and systems that makes those smart people to be able to work less and see more results. So they create there are different workflows, there are different things that they create. If you go to the workshop where they are creating different things, because they are creating it in batches and every batch has to look exactly the same, they already have machineries, they already have different things that they use. So it is not majorly in those environments, it is not majorly definition of smartness is not your ability to just come and start working hard. Definition of smartness in those environments is your ability to align with the infrastructures and the systems and the workflows that are being created to be able to get work done quickly and with the right level of precision. Because in aerospace industry, every single miss that you make can be able to, it has like the impact rate is disastrous. All right, you don't want to be flying an aircraft and then somewhere is leaking. that's just, if there are 200 passengers on that aircraft, everybody is going to die. There is no survival rate. Okay, so those environments, they pay attention to systems and structures. Now, the good news to everyone, and this is how I like to think, this is how I like to process things. The good news to everyone is, in time past, those system structures are things that are very, very expensive to access. Very expensive, because we're talking about infrastructures that run in millions of dollars. Not, what am I saying? Millions, billions of dollars. Okay? Those infrastructures, they are things that it looks as if it is impossible to access it. But what is happening currently in our environment is that systems and structures, that large organizations, they are majorly the ones that are able to possess it. Currently, there is almost a plain level field. That if you want to think about automation process, you can be able to, you don't need to use very, very complicated tools to be able to achieve that. And what is automation? Automation is more like repetition. That's what automation is all about. Are we following? If you're following, I want to see your response, in the chat. You're talking about automation systems that in time past, it takes quite a lot for you to be able to engage in those systems. But now, there is a plain level field that you can be able to access simple automation systems. You can be able to access simple, not just only automation systems, but systems that can be able to do certain work for you without you necessarily being absolutely involved. Now, what does this do to you as a business owner? Many a times when you're opening businesses or when you're starting businesses, the problem is all about, oh, I don't have a lot of money now to start hiring class. I mean, you may have a budget for maybe very few professionals. You may not even have a budget for a lot of professionals. Okay. Or, the problem is more like you see the founder of the organization or the company, being the one to handle marketing, being the one to handle sales, being the one to handle, operations, strategy, and many, many other things. That is the problem with business owners. So at every time you see a business owner or an aspiring business owner, they always are subjected to constant burnouts, because at every point in time they have to multitask. They have to be doing this, they have to be doing that, they have to be doing a couple of things simultaneously at the same time. Okay, that's the problem. So, but now the advantage that you have is an advantage that helps you to be able to delegate those things to certain systems. And if previously you were spending 6 hours trying to solve those things, you end up, finding yourself in a place where you just spent like 1 hour or even less than 1 hour, and you have gotten past that. So I always tell people, this is the best time for business. This is absolutely the best time for business. But it is very, very annoying that, a lot of people are not taking advantage of that. A lot of people are not taking advantage of that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take us through a framework that would help you to diagnose where you are as a person. And, these sessions, they are built to help you reframe how you think. Because if you keep doing things the way you were doing it before, trust me, you cannot be able to, observe any significant change. If you keep doing things the way you were doing it, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, then you can't make any progress. So you have to be willing to unlearn certain things. You have to be willing to, adapt and pivot into what is happening. Okay, so we are going to diagnose what characterizes this invisible majority. And when we talk about the invisible majority, we are talking about people that are tying their progress to time. That means if you are not there, you can't make progress. That means if you are not actively 100% involved, you cannot be able to make any significant progress. That is where the invisible majority, that's where they find themselves. That's where they find themselves. So we want to diagnose with 3 framework. I call them the 3 economies. And I want to tell you that every business owner or professional, we find themselves in one of these 3 economies. The first one is the effort economy. The effort economy. This economy is such that your income is directly tied to your hours. Your income is directly tied to your hours. So the disadvantage of that is immediately you remove the person, you automatically remove the results. Immediately you remove what? Immediately you remove the person, you automatically remove the results. So for this person to be able to earn more, for this person to be able to get more, they have to commit more hours. And this is how, corporate organizations are being structured. You're either paid hourly, you dedicate, 8 hours in a day. You do that maybe for 5 times in a week or 6 times in a week, and then at the end of the month you're paid. Some they even drill down to pay you on hourly basis. Now, this can be a place to start, but this should never be a place to stay. The effort economy, and this is very important for me to mention. When you are building something, I want us to listen very, very carefully. When you are building something, you want to be intentional that thing that you are building, there is a plan. There is a plan for you not to be the bottleneck. And that's the difference between the Western world and, African a lot of times. The Western world, they are already planning succession from starts. The Western world, they're already thinking, we're a lot of times focused on the title. I just want to be the CEO forever. I just want to, be the person involved with this. Now, I'm not saying when you're starting something, at the start of that thing, you're already handing off for this thing. No, but from the start of anything you are doing, have that plan. How can I be able to, get this thing continuously running without me consistently being involved? When you begin to think like that, when you begin to ask that kind of question, what you are doing is you are separating yourself from this effort economy. Because when you want to be that individual that is at the helm of everything, what happens is we're tied to 24 hours. Okay, right? So there is so much you can be able to accomplish within that 24 hours if you have not setting systems and structures and succession plans, in place. There's just so much that you can be able to accomplish. So the effort economy, we find income tied directly to hours. And in organization, I'm going to give us an example. How many of us remembered, I think growing up, I owned the camera, these cameras that usually use films, Kodak, Kodak. How many of us remembered that? These guys that you buy the camera, you put the film, by the back of the camera, you take a picture. At the end of when the films get exhausted, you go to someone to help you wash it out into an actual photograph. All right. Now, if you remember those guys, one of the popular ones among them is called Kodak. All right. And this company actually employed over 140,000 people at its peak. There was a time that they were raining very much. So they hired like over 140 people, human efforts. So at that point in time, every human had to be involved in working in that organization to sustain it. All right. But what happened is in 2012, yeah. In 2012, they fight for what? They fight for bankruptcy. And why did they fight for bankruptcy? Because, there was a shift to digital. And as a result of that shift to digital, it wasn't about hard work again. So even though they had like 140,000 people, they couldn't sustain those individuals. They couldn't sustain those individuals. Now, let me bring it back home a little bit. Let me bring it back home. In Nigeria, when you walk down Computer Village in Lagos, or, I think there is also one that is similar to Computer Village in Abuja. Is it in Wuse or something? You would find a lot of brilliant Nigerians. You see people, who have been in the printing and business centers, business for more than 5 years, for more than 7 years, even 10 years. And these people, they wake up every morning, 7 a.m., they close by 9 p.m. They hardly take holidays. Because if they don't show up any day, they are not going to earn. They're not going to earn. So they stay there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 years, and it is still the same pattern. If they don't show up any day, they don't get any money. That is what the effort economy is all about. That is what the effort economy is all about. And this economy, it doesn't really show that the people are not talented. They are actually talented. But they are operating on efforts as their only infrastructure. That's where they got it wrong. Effort is their only infrastructure. Now, the second economy that I want to talk about is the skill economy. The skill economy is a step above the efforts. Okay, the skill economy. Yes, we preach a lot of times. We encourage people, learn a skill, master a skill. That's very good. That's going to position you, to be able to make progress. That's very important. That's very important. But if you stop in skills alone without going further into systems, then you will find out that you would be an expatriate, get money. That's true. But then every single progress will still depend on your presence. Every single progress will still what? Will still depend on your presence. So it is okay to be here for a while. I'm not saying just jump step and automatically you just start doing things, setting systems and all of that. But the mindset that I'm trying to bring to you is that if you're starting here, don't stay there. I've met people said, I've been teaching for 15 years. I have no problem with being a teacher. But there are many things that you can be able to do within that place of even being a teacher. There are certain things you can be able to sit for yourself within that 15 years that you're being a teacher that will make you to make significant progress. So I want individuals that begin to reason differently. It is not about building things. Yes, I know we have builders in the house. I know we have people that, you have been inspired, and that's very true. It is very important, for you to be a builder. But how you build is more important than just building. How you build is more important than just building. So we have the skill economy. There is this company, I think in the US, they call them McKinsey and Company. Okay, it's one of the most prestigious consulting firm in the world. I think they have a structure of hiring the best of best consultants, most educated, most skilled professional. It's like a reputable place. When you say that, oh, I'm working with those guys, it's like a very, very reputable place. All right. So when it comes to skill, they have that skill that is able to take them into being consultants. That is good in itself, but that is not enough. That is not enough, because what happens over time is, how many people can you be able to consult for at the same time? How many people can you be able to consult for? So if you don't start setting certain levels of systems and structures in whatever you're building, you will find out that you would find it very difficult to scale. And that's what I've discovered in a lot of businesses that are being built, within Nigeria, within Africa. There is always that difficulty. There is always that difficulty for them to scale. Now, I bring us to the third part, which is the systems economy. This is where everybody should inspire to get to. This is the place where from the beginning, even though you are not yet there, you already have in mind that this is the destination that I'm getting to. This is what the definition of success looks like for me. Okay, and that is the systems economy. This is where the top 1% they operate. This is where income is being, it's being generated by infrastructure, not just presence. Okay, the business runs, the revenue flows. The operator, they direct rather than deliver. So when you are building something, you begin to think, and it comes with, the little things. It comes with the little things. I give us an example. Many of you, or some of you that have already registered for the AI Leverage Academy, this thing, master class, the paid one that is coming up very soon. Most of you just got a website. You went there, you click, you make your payments over there. You're not chatting any person. How do I make payment? How do I not make payment? You make your payment, automatically you're onboarded. You get into the group that you need to get. Those are systems that excludes people. If somebody have to go through that process, okay, I need to make payments now. Oh, okay, this is how you make payment. Oh, step by step. Oh, do it like this. Or after you do payments, let me send the link to you. I don't have to bother myself about that because there's already a system already taking care of that. And after the class, if there are more than, it doesn't matter the amount of people that attend the class. At the end of the class, what is going to happen? At the end of the class, you automatically get your dashboard, your environment, where you get the recordings, where you get, the bonuses that will be attached to the classes and every other thing that you need. So you log in from wherever you are and you get it. That is a system on its own. So I'm not talking about when I begin to mirror, very big organizations, these things can be simplified even in whatever you are doing. And what is that going to do for you? It's going to help you save time. It's going to help you reduce a lot of manual process and manual efforts. Now, let's think about a company like Amazon. If a lot of us, we love Amazon. I mean, we have heard about Amazon is among the Fortune 500, if it's not even among the first 5 or first 6 companies in the world. Okay. Now, Amazon, they process 66,000 orders per hour. I'm not saying per day. They process 66,000 orders per hour. And those orders are orders that are, that are not handled by 66,000 people. No, they have already built a system. And that system helps them. It is automated. If I want to go to Amazon now, I just go to their site, I do whatever I need to do. There is already a workflow that eliminates human involvement. That's why you see big companies like this. Amazon has been known to, lay off thousands of workers. From time to time, they keep laying off this thing. Are they laying off because they are struggling? No, they are not laying off because they are struggling. They are laying off because they have come to realize that there is a lot of things that they can do without needing much human effort. So Jeff Bezos did not just build the world's most valuable company by working harder than every other person. No, he built it by building an architecture, a system that is so well designed that it compounds without his direct involvement. That's what he did. In Nigeria, we know about Paystack. I use Paystack. Paystack is being owned by, I think, Shola, and it was co-founded by Israel too. Shola and Israel. Okay, they built Paystack in Nigeria. Now, they were just 2 founders, a small team. So they did not need thousands of people to process, millions and millions of transactions. No, they did not. What did they do? They built a system, a payment infrastructure. It was elegantly designed. And that payment infrastructure, what does it do? It begins to process billions and billions of transactions. They don't even know that is even happening. In the US, they have one that is similar. It's called Stripe. These are payment gateways. So this is very, very important. The invisible majority, they are the brilliant, hardworking people that are permanently stuck between economy 1 and economy 2. They are stuck in the effort economy. They are stuck in the skill economy. They believe that more effort or more skill is the answer. Why more efforts is necessary at some point. Why acquiring skill is also necessary. It is not the ultimate. You have to start thinking about systems. And it is those systems, when you're able to leverage into the next economy, it is those systems that becomes your advantage. So I'm going to ask a question, and I want us to be honest in the chat. What or which economy are you currently operating in? I mean, this is not a time. It's a time to be true to yourself. Is the priority? Is it more about efforts? Is it more about, skill, the skill economy? Or are you beginning to pivot towards system? Towards system. Now, I'm going to talk to us about 4 layers that is going to start changing our mind and our mindsets. I want us to begin to think differently. There is a lot of money on the table, but many times, because of how people start and how their mind has been configured, many times you find out that people are actually being stalked. And what do I mean when I say people get stuck? It's just there's so much you can do within 24 hours. There's so much you can do within 24 hours. So if you don't bring systems into what you're doing, you will find out that you're going to get stuck because you can't commit, you can't share yourself into many pieces to be able to do every single thing. And if you do, you just find out that at every point in time you're exhausted. You're not even able to think properly again. So I want to give us what I call the leverage stick, the leverage stack. Okay, and I'm going to present to us 4 layers of leverage that the global 1% use, and I'm going to show you exactly how AI has changed the accessibility. Now, when people hear me passionately talk about artificial intelligence, I don't talk about it because everybody is talking about it. No. In fact, before I start getting interest in something, I have to really sit back and make sure that that thing actually makes sense. I have to test it myself. And I must tell you that the level of speed that you can get with artificial intelligence is absolutely unimaginable. It's absolutely what? Unimaginable. But it is with a caveat when used correctly. Now I'm going to say something that would that's going to shock some of you a little bit. And the first thing I'm going to say is many people are using artificial intelligence very, very wrong. And this is my thinking process. The definition of leverage should be embedded within having the capacity to build something once and use it multiple times. That's what leverage and systems are. Some of these organizations that I talked to you also about, when they build something once, they tap into it, whether it's an automating process, whether it's a process that helps them with lead generation, whether it's a process that helps them with one thing or the other. They build it once, they tap into it almost forever. Okay, that's leverage. And artificial intelligence, people are still using it in the wrong way. They are still using it. I've met people that still use artificial intelligence, AI, and they spend a lot of time using it. Why? Because they're not using it correctly. So at every point in time you have to do something, you have to start all over again. But when you start to use artificial intelligence, many of you that attended the free masterclass that I held, you saw how we were able to build the business operating model who was intelligent enough to build other intelligent agents that will help any type of business. It was live. We used Francis Business. You guys saw how amazing that was. That's what I'm talking about when it has to do with using artificial intelligence. You come to a point where you begin to, use artificial intelligence in a way that it is like your employee. And it becomes that giant employee that is more useful than more than 50 to 60 employees. So the context of leverage is what? Efficiency. Can I be able to build things with artificial intelligence that will help me to achieve things, in a very short time, quickly, more efficiently, in ways that no other person can be able to do that fast? If you can put that, you have saved yourself tons of time. You have already gotten ahead of your game, when it has to do with your competitors. And that's the reality about life. Speed becomes a necessity. Speed becomes a necessity. Some friends of mine, they used to ask me, because I think last year I started a foundation that was absolutely highly involved in. Currently we even have like 150 people that we are taking through, trainings and all of that. On top of that, I started, the AI Leverage Academy. I still have, my professional job that I'm doing, and currently I'm also building something for high ticket offers for, people that are specifically in the US, businesses that are specifically in the US. People ask me, how are you able to do all of these things? Leverage. That's the truth. Leverage. So, and when we talk about this speed and this thing, it's not about, putting something in ChatGPT. It gives you garbage in, garbage out. You have to understand frameworks. You have to understand, what is required of a system, what is required. You have to engage those critical thinking ability to be able to maximize the outputs that you're getting from AI. Because what artificial intelligence is going to do is that if you give it something very good, it will run with it and give you something better. If you give it something shallow, it will even confuse you the more. Okay, that's why these large language models, we have what is called hallucination. They always feel the necessity to give you an answer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the answers that they are giving you are accurate. So I'm going to talk to us about 4 layers of leverage. The first layer is time leverage, and I want us to take note of this. Okay, time leverage. There's a framework that is called the DAD, delegate, automate, and delete. Okay, that's the framework. Okay, and this is a very powerful framework. When you begin to build intentionally, that helps you to save time. Delegating, automating, and systemizing. Very, very important. You have to, at every point in time that you are building, you have to think about time leverage. How can I delegate? When you delegate, it is not about delegating, but you want to make sure that you're delegating to, if you're dealing with people, you're delegating to people that are the right people. How many of us know this company in Nigeria, Andela? Andela, yes, Andela. How many of us know Andela? Yes. So Andela, they started with a framework that is a training kind of framework. So what does that entail? Many of the people that they hired at some point, they had to go through a training process with them first. I think they even paid for that training. I'm not sure, but I think they paid for that training. Now, during that training session, what they do is they are actually teaching you what they want their company to run with. So it is a useful knowledge to you because their company is actually excellent, but then it is also very useful to them. So what they do is at the end of that program, they look at the people that are the best of best and they integrate them into the company. So what are they doing? They want to have a staff system that is made up of people that actually have the right knowledge to be able to run their business. Now, those people are also benefiting too. So it's a win-win situation. Okay. Now, why do I have to mention this? I have to mention this because that's what the time leverage is all about. Now, you, especially when you're dealing with, delegating with humans, you are putting a structure that trains them to understand, their deliverables. Some of the mistakes that I've seen people do is they just delegate without necessarily training. Okay, and what that does is it leads into a greater dimension of what? Chaos. So delegating. The next part is automating. I love that very much because this is the time in which automation is very, very interesting. This is the time in which automation is what? Automation is very interesting. Okay, because you realize that there are so many things, and these days, automation previously used to involve some levels of manual work, but this period, automation now involves, certain levels of uh, agentic AI connections. So if you're using a platform like N8N, I know many people may not know N8N. N8N is a platform where people they use that platform to be able to create agentic AI. Okay, agentic AI that's for different consulting companies and all of that. So you can be able to create whatever you want. So you can integrate many of these LLMs in whatever you're creating to be able to, do unimaginable things. Okay, so it's just one out of many other platforms that they have. But why am I talking about it now? There is now an agentic part of AI being integrated within whatever you're doing. Uh, Next week, I'm going to show us something during these classes. I'm going to show us like a demo of what an agentic voice AI agent can do. Okay, I've been working on building one for clients in the US here. And one thing about those things is when you build one, it becomes a high ticket that any company that use it, they pay you for actually building one, and they pay you on monthly basis, like monthly retainer fees. Okay, they pay you on monthly basis as well because they are depending on something that you've created. And these things are things that you can build in a week. Okay, in the past, it's something that would take people years or months to be able to do. But because of the dimension of leverage that we have now, there are things that you can do within just a week. All right, and these are things that helps businesses in ways that are unimaginable. So I'll show us just a little bit of a demo. This thing, how a voice agent can be able to know everything about a business, help a business. You call it on phone, it answers the call like maybe a receptionist or something, and then it can be able to tell you everything about the business. And after telling you everything about the business, it will help you book. If you schedule an appointment, it will help you book the appointment. You will receive the notification of your appointment being booked on your email, whatever email that you specify. So I'm going to show us what that demo looks like, just to let us know that there's just a lot happening. There's just a lot happening out there, and you don't want to be, you just don't want to be left behind. Okay. Now, so time leverage, very, very important. Delegate, automate, systematize things. Any business can go through this process. Any single business can go through this process. Automating. Okay. There are three very important parts of business. I believe every business goes through these three things: marketing, sales, and operations. These three things are the most important things about any single business. And there have been a success rate of 90 something percent for AI agents to be able to handle these things. For AI agents to be able to handle these things. Now, the part of operations, it could still be a little bit expensive, but the part of sales and marketing, which is a major engine when it has to do with any business, AI agents and intelligence agents can be able to handle that. And why is this very important that I'm bringing it to us? we have to start thinking when you're setting up a business or you're aspiring to. I've mentored people that will tell me that I don't even know how to start a business because there's just this whole idea in my mind, but I don't know how to bring it to life. There are a lot of AI tools that can help you. In the AI income multiplication engine class, I'm going to, those of you that have enrolled for it, the 3 days, every single day, I'm going to teach you things from start to end that can be a business that you can start. I'm going to teach you things that if you plug into it, you are going to instantly start making progress, at least within 90 days. Within 90 days. I'm not going to tell you a get rich, you do it today and tomorrow. No, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't do those kind of marketing. If I'm telling you it's working, I know it's working. Okay, so there are many things. If you don't have a business idea or this thing, there are things that you can actually do. And that's why it pains me when I see people say, oh, I'm still broke in 2026. How can you be broke when we have so much things that you can be able to tap into? And if you give yourself 3 months of consistency, 3 months of diligence, you can be able to start doing a lot of things. One of the students that attended the free AI class, she reached out to me. I didn't know her before this thing. She reached out to me. She sent me a long message. She was just, being very grateful. She said, I have already started getting clients that are willing to pay with the agent that was built. And while we were on the free masterclass, she already registered for the paid one because and she was sending me a message. She said, in fact, I'm looking forward to the class. There are so many things that you can be able to do, but because you're not aware of it. So, time leverage. Let's talk about McDonald's. How many of us know McDonald's? McDonald's is, even though a lot of people are going to say in the US, many people will say the kind of burgers that they sell is very, very unhealthy sometimes. Okay. The arguments about that. I think anything that has to do with foods that are being eaten out, those things are not the most healthy. But if you know McDonald's, one of the things that you would know about them is they are more like the world burger or fastest burger makers. Okay. And the guy that designed that infrastructure is one guy called Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc. He wasn't originally the founder, but I think later on he bought McDonald's from the founder. I think that was what happened. Okay. Yes. So he built a system in such a way that system is absolutely precise. That a 17-year-old that has no culinary or cooking experience, could produce the same burger in a different state, and it will be the same as the one in the US. So one of the things that many of this thing they leverage on is consistency. So whether it's a food, this thing, they are doing it in such a way that it is so intentional that it's not today you come and you test something is different, tomorrow it tests differently from what it was. No, it's going to be replicated. It will be replicated, same kind of tests, and then it is absolutely fast. So that system was able to remove any form of what? Human vulnerability. Okay? So, and this is something that they do in minutes. If they tell you the number of burgers that these people they're able to do, just to go there, you go through your drive-through, within minutes, they have already served you. Speed and efficiency. So think about, two food businesses in Nigeria. the first probably make like maybe the best suya in Abuja, and everyone knows it. But then that first one, you have to stay in a queue for a very long time for one person to be making that suya. But then we have another person that started like small catering operation, and instead of just being the chef, this person documented every recipe. This person started a small catering operation, instead of just being only the chef. Why the other one in Abuja is priding himself, oh, I'm doing the best suya. He has long queue. He's the only one attending to it. There are many people like that. But this one is already training people. This one is already, documenting certain things. And now that particular chef is able to run 3 locations. Why? Because she does not need to be in the 3 locations. She has already have a process or a system that helps things to function even in her absence. That is what the time leverage is all about. Okay, so whether you're building a system that positions people to be able to accurately do things rightly, or a system that is automated that gives you that leverage not to be there to keep pressing 50 buttons, but at the press of one button, you're able to achieve many things. The goal should be to save time. I always talk to people about a framework called the time redemption framework. Very, very important. Your goal in life as you go forward is, how can I be able to save time? How can I be able to save time? Very, very important. The next level of leverage is the knowledge leverage. Knowledge leverage. You need to come to a point. I was just telling us now about if I want to build something, and what I'm currently working on for high target clients in the US is more of something that I build once, but they use continuously. And every month I get like a monthly retainer, like I get like a monthly fee to be able to use that system. Okay. Now, why is that very important? It is very important because another person might be able to want to offer a similar service, but might not set that structure. So, whatever you are building in your business, how can I set certain structure? Let's say, for instance, you're a coach. You can have a part of your offer that deals with, coaching people on a one-on-one. That can be your high ticket offer. Okay, coaching people on a one-on-one, because that demands absolutely your time, and it's going to have like a cap. You can have another offer that you document your knowledge and sell it as a course. That knowledge is very, very detailed, and you sell it as a course. That does not require your presence. And that can keep selling forever and ever. So even in building your offers and different things you're building, you have to be very, very strategic, that even if I am giving value, which is the goal at every point in time, whether it's coming from a course, the value you should be giving, it should be something that is unimaginable. Spend time to build it from a value-centered way. There's nobody that can attest training that I'm doing and will not attest to the fact that this is something that you actually put in your very best to do, because you want to see the people grow. When you are building from that standpoint and you are able to make your offers to be different, the ones that cater for the high ticket offer, the one that cater for every other person and still giving different dimensions of value, you find out that you already have leverage. Sometimes I'm sleeping, I just wake up, I say, okay, someone has already enrolled in our paid training. So you have to be very, very intentional. And after we do it as a paid training, it's going to be a course that people will buy as well. Because of the value. Because of what? Because of the value. So knowledge leverage. Your expertise is not just a service. Your expertise is a system. Your expertise is an infrastructure. It's an infrastructure. So we have to start thinking in that direction. The next layer I want to talk is the network leverage. Very, very important. Strategic relationship that open doors, effort alone can never reach. Strategic, this thing, it is very, very important. Your network. Somebody say your network is your net worth. Begin to stay in certain rooms. Every community that I usually tell people, I say, look, the people that are around you, that it looks as if probably you're not seeing them making progress now, as long as they are intentional, consistent people, begin to form a network with them. Because you don't want to be that person that's probably at a particular time in life, you'll be like, I used to know that lady. We used to attend the leverage circle class together. I used to see her comments on the chats. We didn't talk, but I know her. Begin to form your network. Begin to form your network. Your network doesn't only have to be people that are already billionaires. It doesn't. People that are intentional. You come into a community, you see 7, 8, 9, 10 people intentional, begin to form alliance with them because they're already engaging in the process that is going to make them successful people. It's just a matter of time. You come into a community, you see people that are already, they are consistent, they are putting in efforts at every point in time. They are having little results. They may not have, somebody say, Cosmos Madoka will say, money is the least part of, it's the least part of the currency to focus on. A lot of times we have been built in such a way that the way we gauge people is if he doesn't have a Lamborghini, and that's why people deceive, a lot of people many times because they present those things. They even go and rent it and they become your role model, but they don't even have anything to offer to you. So when you're in a place, you see somebody already carrying out that mindset of, learning, carrying that mindset of, being consistent. They are not doing it just only once. They are doing it consistently. Begin to align with them. Some of the people I have around me are people that, we became friends even from when we were maybe in the university. Network leverage. Network leverage. Don't isolate yourself. And the fourth layer that I want to talk about is AI as an operating system. AI as an operating system. I'll be wrapping up with us, but next week I have something very interesting to show us, so that it's not just all about talk. These things are realities. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because, look, I'm doing this because I want to give back. I came back to Nigeria. I met a lot of people. That was last year, December. And I just see a huge knowledge gap between those that are doing very well and those that are not doing very well. And the problem is not that those people that are doing very well, they're not even putting in 1/4 of the efforts these other people are putting. And that's the reality about life. That's the reality about life. So you come to that point, where you begin to find yourself in an environment that reprograms the way you think first. Some of the things that I know, if I didn't work yet in the environment that I was, I wouldn't have known them. If I didn't have certain people within my circle, I wouldn't have known them. The friends that I call, and for the next 1 hour that we are talking, we are talking about, if we are not talking, because I'm a Christian, I pay very rapid attention also my Christian life. So if I'm not talking to somebody from that dimension of, my Christian life, and we're talking about things, we talk about business, we talk about ideas. The conversations that I have with people, after 30 minutes of talking with them, you gain depth of knowledge, and they gain the depth of knowledge that is unimaginable. You become that iron that sharpeneth another iron. Very, very important. So begin to build your level, your distant network. So AI as an operating infrastructure. Now, I've said it from the beginning, many people use AI wrongly. Many people use AI wrongly. I want every one of you here to begin to, one of the ways to evaluate if you're using AI wrongly or not is just begin to evaluate the times that I've been using AI. What is the outputs that I'm getting? Have that honest conversation with yourself. Okay? Have that honest conversation with yourself. What is the outputs that I'm getting? Was it something that, helps me to be able to get progress? Was it something that, helps me to be able to, achieve more things? And sometimes you may find out that maybe I'm thinking too far, but the kind of leverage I'm saying is not just maybe you moved from A to B. I'm talking about its accelerated progress. Start to use AI as an infrastructure. Very big companies in time past, what they had advantage about, it is now a weapon that is in your hand. Begin to use it. Begin to use it. It is a weapon that is already in your hand. Sometimes you may have, a very great weapon, but how you use that weapon is what matters. Okay, how you use that weapon is what matters. So begin to, use AI from that standpoint that is going to absolutely benefit you. If you're building a business, how can I integrate this within my business to make things very exceptional? All right. If you are, and these things are not complicated. These things are not complicated. One of the things that I've learned over time to do in life is to be able to bring complicated or complex situations and simplify it. And I can tell you categorically, even though you hear people use the word system, structures, automation, and all those things, they are not things that is rocket science. No, it's not. You get the right level of training, you have the right level of thinking about it, you begin to see the results that you desire. Okay? So very, very important. As we are coming to a wrap of this, I just want to use an example that is fictional. And let's talk about this guy called Chidi, because this guy is going to reflect what many of us we are passing through. Okay? So Chidi is a human resource consultant. He's based in Lagos, 11 years experience, strong reputation, good client list. He earns well by Nigerian standard. But Chidi has not taken a full week off in 4 years. His phone does not stop. Every proposal is written from scratch. Every new client all onboarding is a WhatsApp conversation that takes 3 days to complete. When he got malaria last year, his business effectively paused for 2 weeks. Chidi is not failing. Chidi is trapped. And that trap has a name. It is called an effort-dependent operating system. Okay, now, so before leverage, this was what Chidi's activity looks like. 7 a.m., he responds to 3 clients' WhatsApp messages, manual, reactive, and no system. 9 a.m., he begins writing a proposal he has essentially written 40 times, rebuilding from scratch every time. 11 a.m., his onboarding call covering the same information he covers every time, no documented process, no leverage. 2 p.m., he follows up manually on an invoice, outstanding for 3 weeks, revenue leaking due to lack of automation. 4 p.m., he realizes he forgot to follow up with a prospect from last Tuesday. That makes him to even lose opportunity. 6 p.m., he's still at his decks, he's tired, he's behind, he's wondering why growth feels impossible. Now, the problem is not that Chidi is untalented. No, the problem is he does not use leverage. So after leverage, what does it look like for Chidi? 7 a.m., AI system has qualified 2 leads overnight and sent tailored intro sequence. You see time leverage stroke AI infrastructure. 9 a.m. proposal generator produced a customized, proposal. You can even create a custom GPT, feed it the knowledge that he has. This is a task that, he repeats over and over. And that custom GPT can start, executing on behalf of him. 9:30 a.m. new clients onboarding runs through automated sequence automatically. So you create just a very simple system that helps the onboarding process of your clients to happen automatically. I told us just a simple example of, what we are doing in the AI Leverage Academy, how things are automated, okay? Ongoing, invoice follow-up automated with escalation triggers, prospect follow-up CRM sequence that never forgets. Chidi reviews dashboard, make 3 strategic decisions, does only what he can do. This is not just a statement. This is the advantage that many people can have in their business. That's the advantage that many people can have in their business. And as we come to the wrap of this, the AI leverage circle, this is the first session that we're having. We'll keep on having this session depending on my schedules on weekly basis. If we don't have it weekly, we may have it bi-weekly, if I have a very tight schedule. But I hope to do this, weekly with us, because I want us to be able to start taking advantage of what is happening. And I mean, for me, if it's just 1, 2, 3 persons that are able to go through some of the things that we are presenting here, and it's able to transform your life, I'm fulfilled. All right, because I've met many people that do not know the weapon that is in their hand in times like this. All right, so I encourage every one of us, subscribe on the YouTube channel so that you can be getting the notifications, about this live sessions, because we're going to be doing this. This is a way for the AI Leverage Academy to be able to give back. All right, to be able to give back. Now, we also have our AI income multiplication engine that is coming up. People are already registering for that, okay? And I want to tell you that if you have not registered for that, it's coming in the next 2 weeks, 27th of March, where I will be taking you through a 3 days. If I have to take you for 3 weeks, that means I have to charge you a lot of money. All right, so I'll be taking you 3 days, implementation base, and it's going to be an absolute game changer. It's going to be an absolute game changer. So I encourage I encourage you, if you have not registered for that, go ahead and register for that. I believe the admin, they should be able to put that on the chat. If you have not registered for that, this is happening live in the next 2 weeks exactly today, and it has been designed in such a way that it is meant to put money in your pockets. All right, it's meant to put money in your pocket. We'll be having 3 days, and those 3 days there are, I have a whole lot of bonus for you, a whole lot of bonus, and that's one thing I like to do. I want to make sure that I create that environment that you don't have any excuse not to succeed. Okay, the only reason you're not going to succeed is if you don't take action. I'm not going to tell you that if you apply the things I'm going to teach you, you would succeed whether you take action or not. No, that's going to be a lie. Okay, if you take action, of which it's not going to be difficult for you to take that action, because everything that is needed for you to do that, it's already created for you. If you take action, you're going to see the results that you need to see. So this is going to be a 3 days implementation based, program, and you would be, for day one, we have different days. I think I must have passed that. So it's for 3 days, and each day has what is expected for you to get. So we'll be handling automation, things that you don't know is actually possible, and you don't know is actually that simple. How many of you attended the free masterclass and you saw how simple it is, to be able to build some of the things that we built? So this one, it's going to be what you saw at the free masterclass is just the tip, right? What we are bringing to you is going to be mind blowing, and it's just at a giveaway. Okay, I say that because I know the value of different programs. So it's just at a giveaway. Our next cohorts will never be those amounts. Trust me when I say that. This is just a giveaway. So go to the website, see for yourself. There is a lot of bonus. Every one of you, someone signs in, you have your own dashboard, and after the sessions, you would have all those free things that would be able to help you. I built the idea to income agents that will help you go through 30 days and for you to start earning. Is an AI agent that is very, very powerful. It will give you day-to-day realistic tasks, show you exactly how to execute them and all of that. All right. So I also built like the AI prompt vault, where you see different customized prompts and different things that are very, very necessary. The agent builder template, where you see how to build different AI agents in just minutes. Okay, the AI leverage toolkits, giving you different AI tools that you should be able to focus and concentrate on. So this is, and so on and so forth. I wouldn't list all of it, but just go to the site to be able to see that for yourself. And the payment process, everything is automatic. You shouldn't have any problem with that. So that is that for the AI income multiplication engine that will be coming up in 2 weeks' time. But beyond that, we'll be having the sessions next week, Friday. I'll be taking us through another part of the session, and I want you to, pay very rapt attention to these things. And if you have, questions, next week I might be opening the floor for 1 or 2 questions. Okay. But once again, I welcome every one of you to the leverage circle, and we have a lot to learn and grow together as we continue with this trainings. I just want to keep telling us, go and take action. The lady that texted me about already getting clients, she attended that session or that free masterclass with every other person, but she immediately started taking action. Many other people have been texting me and telling me, "Oh, I've built my agents and all of that." I want us to be people that take action. Okay, because the result is being embedded in the action that you take. All right. So we have come to the end of tonight's session, and I believe that every one of us we got the best out of it. I would be connecting with us by next week Friday, and I look forward to having these conversations with us. Next week, I would show us the live demo and show us a lot of things that one or two things that are absolutely, possible when it has to do with AI. So until I talk to you guys again, good night, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. I would be playing a music, and you can feel free to, to go at any time. Thank you very much.
This is the best time for business. Right now, if you are here, you are not average. You are early, you are aware this is your window, and it is open. Every generation has a moment. Most people miss it. They hesitate, they observe, they overthink, but a few move. You are in a room where leverage is real, where systems replace struggle, where speed replaces delay, where structure becomes power. This is the best time for business. Not next year, not someday. If you showed up tonight, you stepped into the top 1%, not by status, by decision. Intelligent agents working while you think, while you plan, while you led. Time compressed, effort multiplied, income accelerated. This is not hype, this is design. When roles are clear and systems are aligned, money stops being accidental and starts becoming predictable. You are not here to survive, you are here to engineer growth. This is your season. Final hook. This is the best time for business. If you are here, you are early. If you are early, you are positioned. If you are positioned, you can build. And if you build correctly, you can scale. This window is open.